Welcome back, Foolish Finance Fridays. I'm your guest, Mrs. Rourke, and welcome to Tam's Fantasy Island. Right? Hope you had a good week. Hope you all are enjoying the debauchery going across the world. I don't know if you can hear the background. Someone wants to add music. The DJ in the back wants to add a little music for your pleasure. Bounce with me, rock with me, roll with me. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Finance Friday. Foolish Finance Friday. Bounce with me. Bounce. Ah, bounce. You shouldn't have turned it off. You shouldn't have turned it on. You turned it on, so I went with it. Let's give shout outs to all those who are here. D is in the back. Filthy Frank Black. Filthy Frank Black. You need an F. You need an F. You need to get rid of Filthy Frank Black on Foolish Finance Fridays. You need an F. You need an F in that last name. I'm gonna just call you Filthy Frank Frank. Filthy Frank Frank today. Um, do we accept anything other than PayPal? You can donate. You can mail a check if you want to. You can do that from your account. You can also um donate here if you want to. But yeah, most definitely. I don't know. I don't, let Frank. Oh, that ain't the same. Filthy Frank Frank. I don't like that. Do I think we accept Litecoin? We take Bitcoin. We could take some crypto. We could take some crypto, some Bitcoin. A Queen Lee, what's going on? Benzie 06. Benzie 06 or Benzie Y06. How are you? Kiss my face twice. How about I just do once? How about I do just one time? How you doing? A Righteous One, what's happening? Um, as well. How are you? And a Queen Lee, what up, though? How you doing? Smart Money Chick TV, what it up? What up? What up? How y'all doing? I hope y'all out here cashing checks. Hope you are also out here receiving checks. I'm doing good. I'm all right. I can't complain. Right? Can't complain. We're shaking and moving, introducing folks to other folks, making money and tapping in, and that's all we can ask for. That's all we can ask for, right? Um, I hope everybody got a chance to those that came to the meetup. Glad you could make it to the meetup. You know how we do. Um, I did. I attempted to let you go early, but people had questions. But we got out of there at 8:02 though. It's better than 8:30. 8:02 though. Give me some credit. D, don't type nothing. You look like you want to say something. D, don't type nothing. D, don't type nothing. You look like you want to say something. D, don't type nothing. What's going on, Don? For all those in the ATLs, it was 8:02 my time. Right. For those in the ATLs, stand up, shout out. We see you. Al, L, whatever. You know, we see you out there. So, what are we talking about? D asked me what we talking about on Foolish Finance Fridays. So a lot of people ask me this. They ask me, what is my show gonna be about? And the answer to this is gonna always be you gotta watch the show. Even D doesn't know what I'm gonna talk about. She always asks me, what's the show gonna be about? Now, if I think it's gonna be a little controversial, And I think it's gonna may offend some people. I'll be like, put people on high alert. But D don't even know what we're gonna talk about because it's none of their business. You show up to the show. You show up. That's what we're talking about. Could we do better? Absolutely. I could advertise and do better, but I don't feel the need to. I don't want to. I don't want to. So, where do we want to start? Hmm. I have a lot of places to start. I do. I have a lot of places to start. So, what better way to start? And let's start out controversial and piss some people off because that's what I do. I like to piss people off. All right. First up on Foolish Finance Fridays. This came out July 7th. You ready, D? Let's get into it. All right. Yeah, I thought about threads. 70 million people signed up. Everybody always wants an alternative. So Americans say they need to make 233,000 to feel financially secure, but their average salary is 75,000. Now, this is controversial. Why? Well, let's talk about why it's controversial. Eh, right. Let's go. My favorite. Kendra G is my favorite. Let's go. Let me scroll down to the latest and greatest on Kendra G. Let's go to the videos. You can see it's a video in here. I'm sure I pull it up right here. I'm not gonna play it, but this title says she wants a man who is secure within himself. Said and it said that 100K is not a lot of money. Oh boy, this got 545 comments, and there are comments within the comments, right? But that's neither here nor there because Americans say they need to make 233,000 to feel financially secure, but their average is 70, salary is 75. And that doesn't include Black Americans. Yep. That doesn't include Black Americans. All right. So let's talk about it. So I'm not gonna read this article just yet. We just want to do. I just like to start with the numbers because I'm a numbers person, and because we over here we like to tell the whole truth and nothing but the truths, um, and give you the facts. Right? Give you the facts. So let's get into it. All right, and then we'll go into the article. So 100K. Somebody give me what is a salary in most majors? Not a salary, but a what is a rent or mortgage in most major cities. I'm going anywhere between 1,500 to 2,000, and you can even say 1,700 to 2,200. But I'm gonna say between 1,500 to 2,000 between rent and a mortgage, and in some places the rent is more than a mortgage. Let's just go with that, right? So off the rip, you're at 100,000, and before taxes even come out, if you're properly following the investing and maxing out your 401k, or at least maxing out up to the match of your 401k, all right. We're gonna say off the rip, 22.5 comes out. All right, 22,500, because you're smart, you're a savvy investor. You want to lower your tax liability, right? So now we at 77.5, right? And then if we go one more, if we say, hey, I'm going to take out my $4,000 or 3850 for my HSA, right? So we'll say 4,000, round up, right? So we're at 73.5. That's just off the rip, right? Now, when we do that, this is off the gross. We have to go ahead and now hit that boom by 0.7 because we're doing taxes. So we're left with 51,450. Now this is what you are gonna take home. Divide that by 12. Even though I know all the money is not taxed at the 30%, we're just making simple math here. So every month you're at 4287. I'll be nice to say you're at 4,300, right? And we already said, somebody said they gave me a number. They're saying the average rent for 1,800 to 2,000. So we're just gonna go hit that. Just gonna hit that. I'll be nice and give you 1,800. Even though we know it's gonna cost more than that because you got to add in utilities, you got to add in your whatever, your phone and so forth. But I'll be nice on the rent there. Hit 1,800. That's for the month. $700 for your car note. Okay. All right. What else we got? What else we got? You still got utilities, cell phone, car insurance, depending on the city, if it's high crime and for that car insurance. So we need to go ahead and take out some more money. What we going? We're doing another $1,000 just off of all of that I just mentioned. 300. What's the average cell phone bill? $50 to $100, right in there, somewhere in there, right? So I'm gonna go ahead and take out $1,000. And you should also have life insurance. You also should be buying some life insurance. So we're gonna say minus $1,000, right? So we got $800 left, right? Now, after that $800 that you got left, is there anything else that I'm missing? Car insurance, car note, max out your 401k, your HSA. See, is anything else I'm missing? Oh, the other thing I may be missing, and you all can correct me if I'm wrong. Some of y'all may have a daily commute, and so you got your wear and tear. Oh yeah, I forgot food. I don't know how much y'all spend on food. D say she could do $25 a week in food. I don't know what else y'all got. Yeah. Let's see. Taxes, car insurance. Yep. It depends. Well, it does depend on the person. The only thing about depending on the person is for your taxes, your car insurance. Most people don't live in Florida. Most people don't live in a state tax free location. So that right there, that goes out the window. Most places are high on car insurance. Most places are high on taxes. So that kind of goes out the window. So all right, so I'll be nice and say about for food, maybe going out to eat. Maybe you may go out to eat and splurge with your friends a little bit. Let's go ahead and take out $400. So, oh yeah, you got to save money for your emergency fund. So we're gonna say you can put $100 in your emergency fund. Let's say you left with $300. That's off for $100,000. I'm being generous, being nice about this. So you're left with $300 to do whatever at your leisure or whatever, right? So again, they're saying 233 $233,000. Now, with this $100,000, this is a single person. This is not a married person. This is not a single person with kids or a kid or taking care of a sick person or what have you. We're just talking about just a single person on $100,000, right? Yeah, I agree. As I said, I'm being nice. I said I'll be triple F, Frank, or filthy Frank. Listen, I'm just being nice, just being nice, right? All right. So again, when we're looking at how far you can stretch 100,000, it is really city dependent. It is really person dependent, and when it comes to that, that's just what I say. All right. So here we go. All right, Americans say they need to make 233,000 to feel financially secure, but their average salary is 75K. 75K. High inflation, interest rates, housing costs are making Americans feel financially insecure. A new bank rate survey found. Let's look. Let's blow this up. That's small on your screen. Let's blow that out there. And it says most Americans don't feel secure in their finances, and about a quarter don't think they will ever achieve financially or ever achieve financially security. That's according to a new survey from Bankrate, which found that 72% of those surveyed said they are not completely financially secure, and 26% said expect they would never be. They just did the one with Gen X, and with Gen X is they said Gen X don't some of Gen X don't expect to retire, and some have never saved up for retirement. So again, we're talking about not just in Gen X. The survey also came out that found that most Gen Zers uh, don't have enough money to stay by themselves. They're actually moving back home, or that their parents are paying for their daily lifestyle and their bills and so forth. So there's another crunch there when we're talking about it. So it says when asked what it would take to feel financially secure, the respondents on average say they would need about 233,000 to feel rich. To feel rich. I don't know what feel rich is. um, the respondents on average said they need to make around 483,000. Let's talk about it. Let's talk about it. It's I would love to know this age they were talking to, this age range they was talking to. To feel rich, respondents on average said they need to make around 483,000. The survey said. But yet, all in the streets, all in the video, all on the YouTube, everybody is like 100K is a lot of money, or 50K is a lot of money, or all of that, blah blah blah, whoop de scoopy dee 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 dop dee 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 doo. D, you supposed to be with the sound effects today. Where's the sound effects? When I need some sound effects. You're supposed to be back there with the sound effects today. 483 is what they say. 483. All right. Let's keep. That's gonna put everybody to sleep. Yeah, leave me with that one right there. Americans have a long way to go to meet either of their goals. Full-time workers earned on average $75,203 in 2021. The median salary, the midpoint, the highest and the lowest was 53,000. Again, when it comes down to dealing with the community, it's been around about 45,000. D, where the soundboard at? I like talking to the beat. I like to do. Where my money at? Ah, do. Where my money at? See, D, you don't have no fun. You don't have no fun, D. All right, workers' salaries have to cover an ever mounting list of financial strains. Most Americans are feeling the pinch of inflation as their cost of living, from groceries to home prices, have steadily increased. Most respondents, 63%, said high inflation prevents them from feeling financially secure, and 36% blame on put the blame on rising interest. This is the first time Bankrate has ever surveyed people about financial security. So there's no historical data on the amounts of money people said they needed to feel secure or rich in the past years. But other surveys have suggested Americans' view of how much money makes someone rich has changed in recent years. Charles Schwab 2023 Modern Wealth Survey found that Americans think it takes about 2.2 million to feel wealthy. I don't know. 2.2 million to feel wealthy. I don't know, when it's 1 million, when it takes when people are like looking to retire with a million, and they're telling you on average most people need 2.5 million for retirement, give or take. It depends on who you ask, and it depends on what survey that I've seen. That's what it takes. That's what I've been seeing. Coden Evelyn says Americans know not long ago asked the manufacturer jobs not considering automation. They don't pay 100K on average. Well, the thing about it, the 100K and so forth, I think people get caught up with um a lot of passion. and not understanding like what that passion actually pays, right? So that's another problem that I've seen. The other problem that I've seen is that um, a lot of people like, well, you don't need that money, much money to live. And I always go back to it's not about the money to live, or survive. It's the money to thrive, right? Being able to control when you take off or where you go, or being able to walk away from a job whenever you feel like it. I think that doesn't get stressed enough. I think people always have this mindset that I'm going to always work and I'm just going to work hard, but there's no exit strategy. Nobody ever talks about what the exit strategy is. You need an exit strategy. Like, what is going to be you get this job, you work this time, what's your exit strategy, right? And and on top of all of that, here's the other thing that I noticed, right? Listen, and then I mean this with the sincerest. If you don't want to make 100K, don't dog nobody else because they want to make it. If you don't want to make 200K, don't dog nobody else because they want to make 200K. Go live your life. If you want to live under a bridge, fine. If you want to wash up at the cemetery, fine. If you want to ride on Greyhound or Trailways forever, and that's how you get around, and you don't ever want to fly, and you don't ever want to do any of those things, but don't knock nobody else because they want to go live their life, because they want to go live and do what they want to do. Right? Stop doing that. Like, don't, and then stop tearing people down because somebody made some more money and then they decided they wanted to treat themselves with something nice, whatever nice is for that person. They wanted to treat themselves to a nice trip, or they want to treat themselves to a piece of steak or whatever. We get so in this habit of like, well, that couldn't be me. In the way in the world, I pay $70 for a steak. Well, that's why you didn't go. That's why. Yeah. Yeah. You didn't pay $70 for that steak. That's right. And so we get into this habit of like, yo, like tearing people down because they want to do something. Like, stop doing it. It says the one thing boomers forget and want to ignore when Zoomers ask for a living wage is that the Fed has printed half of the money supply in just the last few years. And I don't even think, honestly, the boomers I know don't even know that y'all are a Gen Z. I'm just being honest. All they know is you somebody child. They don't even know that you Gen Z. They don't even know. They don't even know what you call. They don't even know what you call. I'm just being honest. So I don't think it's coming from the boomers. I think the boomers just really don't care. Honestly. They look at y'all and they be like, that goes somebody baby. That baby done growed up. That baby is working. I hear baby got a good job. Got on with the post office. Yeah, that baby's working over there at Amazon. Mm-hmm. Got one child. Take care of baby, look just like them. That's it. Them boomers don't even know who y'all are. They just know you somebody child. So I don't know where this narrative come from that the boomers out here dogging y'all out. I ain't seen it. All I see is the boomers be like, look, we got to help everybody. That's what I see. But that's just me. Maybe I'm in the wrong set of boomers. I don't know. It doesn't make logical sense that a person at Meta at Meta can get paid 190K to post on TikTok, where it's people that deliver food and give it does make sense. Make plenty of sense to me. It make plenty of sense to me. I'm gonna tell you why it make plenty of sense to me. Because you make choices. You make choices. Triple F, double FB. You make choices. You make choices. You can't get mad. And I know exactly what you're talking about. The young lady that was making $190,000. Uh, she was I think a recruiter, and she was posting about her job on and on TikTok. Where did she mess up at? Posting about her job on TikTok. They wouldn't have cared about her posting about recruiting and and getting new recruits to come in, they wouldn't have cared about that. But she was posting information about her day to day and what she do on her job. I don't know why y'all feel the need to share y'all day to day about what y'all do on your job. Take the money and shut up. Now you could talk about like the skill sets you need in that job, but you ain't gotta talk about your day to day. If she want to talk about her day to day, she could have set up like a easy little meetup and put a link out there and call it good. But she went on there and started talking about it. But here's the cool thing about it though. This is the difference between, and not all people who deliver for Uber and stuff like that don't have skill set. But the difference is she has a set of skills. She's probably learned her lesson and somebody will go back and hire her. Somebody will go back and hire her. It's really just that simple. And she understands how to maneuver in that environment, or she wouldn't have been able to get that 190, right? So again, she'll be fine. She'll be fine. She'll be fine. She'll go into another job. She may not get 190 off the rip. And who knows if she was making 190K total comp. She might have been making 160 and did something else, right? Yeah. One skill away from 200K. That's my saying. Don't forget to like and subscribe. And if you are looking for any type of shirts like one skill away from 200K, hit the shop button on the link and get you some swag, get you some merch. You know, again, like I got it out the trust. I got it out the trust. I didn't get it out the mud. I got it out the trust. Yeah, that's where we're at. Like we over here, no. Everybody got to put in work. Everybody got to get into it. So for her and that chick with the 190K, she'll be fine. So speaking of being just fine, I'm gonna bring, since we're talking about I got it out the trust, I'm gonna bring up Kiki Palmer. Everybody's talking about Kiki and the whole thing. Kiki, do you love me? I mean, like everybody want to talk about Kiki. Listen, they were saying that could he get full custody of the child and then sue her for child support? He could. He could. He could. But I mean, I don't know any judge that will go against her and be like, she's an unfit mother, right? He would have to really prove that she was unfit, right? And the other thing too, Kiki, if you're listening, I'm sure you have people around you to advise you. Make sure you got your estate and your trust set up. you know, Understand the laws. I know y'all probably living together, and if they living together, she can't. And then they in together in California, she can't really throw him out. I think she has to file for an eviction, so she has to go to court for that. So this is one of the woes about you all being like y'all want to act as y'all are a married couple and we loved each other and I'm gonna have his baby. All right. Y'all want to do all of that. All right. There's consequences. There's consequences, repercussions and consequences. Right. So I would say to anyone, any man, any woman, know the laws. Know the laws. Know the laws. Know the laws. Yeah, Evelyn, even if she sells that home, she has to evict him first. And if he does, and depending on if he does or does not have a place of residence to go, she could end up having to pay for him a place to stay. She, depending on the laws. I don't know. I'm assuming she's living in California, but I could be wrong. Right? Now he don't have to get the proceeds from her home, but we're gonna talk about some stuff. I got some really foolish finance stuff to talk about today. Right. All right. So when it comes down to this, back to the article, it says bank survey results revealed that women cited a higher salary required to feel financially secure, as well as rich women said that they would need to be at 237,000 a year, and women also need to make 500,000 a year to feel rich, where men said 465. Let's go, women, half a meal. Half a meal. That's what women said. Housing costs are holding people back from financial security. To be sure, people aren't necessarily feeling all doom and gloom. Consumer sentiment in June reached a 4 month high as Americans feel more confident about the U.S. economy, but there's still a layer of anxiety over their financial health. In addition to high inflation and interest rates, the bank rate survey respondents also cited housing costs as a reason for feeling financially secure. Women were more likely to cite housing costs as a hurdle. Overall, nearly 22 million U.S. households spend more than they can afford on rent. Bank rate respondents also said they were financially insecure because they didn't have enough money in their emergency savings. And I preach this all the time. People don't have enough money in their emergency savings. Hey, 50 Frank, I want it all. You want it all. My want it all as a woman may be different than your want it all. It's all good though. It's all good. It's all good. Right? It says right here, it says Anthony Noto, CEO of fintech firm SoFi, which SoFi has been running up the meter if you haven't been paying attention. Recently put it in many ways, someone today that's making 100,000 really struggles to live the American dream for a variety of reasons. Can we get a little noise on that, D? I'm gonna blow that up because I just went through the numbers. I just went through the numbers. Let's read it to the sound. It- hey, I don't call the shots. Anthony said it himself. Anthony said, in many ways, someone today that's making 100,000 plus really struggles to live the American dream for a variety of reasons. I went through the numbers. I went through the numbers. I went through the numbers. State of the U.S. worker and its biggest expenses today. The median salary is 53.88. The median or the typical mortgage is 21.65. The typical two-bedroom 18.91. The price of healthcare expenses is 22.463, and price of a car payment 730. This doesn't include insurance, right? Typical cost of childcare 10,853. Right? I went through the numbers. And look at this. Ain't nothing in here said nothing about go save your money, go invest your money, go put your money up into a brokerage account, save 25% of your salary, and live off the rest. There's nothing in there that says that. Your money is flying out the door, right? Flying out the door. So let's even get into this. Another foolish finance Friday. Boom. At least 3 people have gotten HIV after an invasive facials in New Mexico spa. Foolish Finance Friday. You out here, you getting these facials, pop, 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 pop. Needles hitting you up, getting HIV. I don't make it up. I just report the news. Okay. Let's look and see what's going on. Multiple patients have gotten HIV after receiving vampire facials at a spa in New Mexico. Vampire facials re inject the patient's own blood and can reduce wrinkles and sun damage. Huh. Vampire facials are safe when done with clean needles, but when not done in sterile conditions, can transfer diseases. Foolish. You out here getting facials and you ain't even getting the business. Mm-mm-mm. You getting the business all right though. Now your insurance cost goes up. Now you gotta if you got a husband, he gonna be looking at you like, babe. So what had happened was breaking up marriages and happy homes, foolish finance Fridays. Let's go. The New Mexico Department of Health is telling people who got injection services like vampire facials or Botox at a spa in Albuquerque that they could be at risk of blood-borne infections like HIV and hepatitis C. What if you get both HIV and hepatitis, and you married, and you go home and you kiss on your husband, and you kissing on your kids? Don't do it. On Wednesday, oh, you got that, yeah. On Wednesday, Department of Health, blah blah blah, announced they had and identified a client of VIP Spa with a recently diagnosed HIV case linked to a vampire facial, and the patient received it in 2018. They got to go back 5 years. Done. What up? Thank you for the super chat. You got me with the facials today. I'm always gonna keep you on your toes. I'm gonna always keep you on your toes. You never know where I'm going with it. Dee didn't even know. She didn't know. I had this lined up. I was like, oh, that's a good one. So they got to go back 5 years. Now, why did I bring this up on Foolish Finance Fridays? It's because number one, the actual needles, the business itself, they're gonna have to file for bankruptcy because they got to go back 5 years that they know of. It could have been before that. It could have been before that, right? This patient was not first to be diagnosed with HIV following a procedure at VIP Spa in 2019. Two other patients contracted HIV after receiving vampire facials at the spa. The Department of Health, or Department of, I guess, yeah, Health investigation found that there were additional HIV infections with direct and indirect connection with the services provided by the spa. What is this spa? Other services? What services? Are these happy endings? What services is going on at this spa? It is important that we spread the word and remind people who received any kind of injection related to these services. I'm just gonna say, if you laid down on the bed, if you laid down on the bed, who received any kind of injection related to services provided by the VIP spa, to come in for a free confidential testing. Ain't that confidential? Ain't that confidential? The spa was shut down in September, and the spa's owner, Maria Ramos de Ruz, was sentenced to 3.5 years in prison in 2022. What is a vampire facial? Also known as a plasma-rich protein, or a type of cosmetic procedure that uses the patient's own blood, their own blood. So I'm gonna take your blood and put it back into you, right? To reduce the appearance of facial lines and wrinkles, as well as a fade damaged sun. So you know me, I need to see a vampire facial. I need to see. She went and got a vampire facial. She's on mute. There's no sound. I just want to get through what she doing. That's all I want to do. Okay. And why y'all like sticking needles in your face? Don't stick no needle in my face. And then they take it out, take the blood out and put it somewhere else. Here we go, right here. Look at that. Girl, no. No way, oh way. Can't get Tam today. No way, no way. Look, okay, hold on. Hold on. Let's go back. What they say? Hold on. Let's get there right there. Right here. Stop it. Post treatment, no working out, hot showers, jacuzzis for 48 hours. Skincare, gentle cleanser, bifine, moisturizer, and SPF. That seemed like that will burn on your face. And for how long? 28 hours? Nah, all them little needles and pokes and stuff like that. Nah. She look like she got bad acne. Look at it. All she got to do is just stay stress free. You listen, stay stress free, sucker free, and you won't have that. Joe, what up, Joe? Everybody, give Joe some music for entering the chat. We're gonna give Joseph Hall some music for entering the chat. Nah, this is Joe music. What up, Joe? Entering the chat. What up, Joe? What up, Joe? Welcome to Foolish Finance Fridays. We have fun over here. All right. I just couldn't believe it. I saw it and I was just like, it is what it is. Just be on the lookout, ladies, if y'all decide to go and get y'all vampire facial, the needles and so forth. Just be careful, all right? So here's the other one. Here we go right here. I just thought this was funny. TikToks of men of fake proposing to their girlfriends have divided viewers who are debating whether the prank is hilarious or just mean. So men are out here fake proposing and recording it and telling their significant other like, nah, girl, I'm just playing. Now, I don't know how this is going to end well for folks. Right? I don't know how this is going to end well for folks. I don't know how many people of color are going to be out here with the fake proposals. Right? I don't know. But let's go on down here. Their video of men staging fake proposals to their girlfriends are blowing up TikTok, sparkling a debate on how funny the stunt is. On July the 1st, a TikToker goes by the name of Darren Clegg posted a video that showed him and his woman posing in front of a sunset. Clegg could be seen getting down on one knee and reaching into his pocket before popping back up, laughing and walking away from the woman who shook her head and smiled. This ain't gonna end well. This ain't gonna end well. This ain't gonna end well. They got 2.2 million views and 260 comments. There are others out here doing it. Here's another one here. Yeah. It's all fun and games till she really say no. It's all fun and games till she really say no. All right. All right, let's get into it. All right. So I found this in a book. Is Couples and Money is one of the titles, right? So I got some things highlighted. We're gonna skip around and I got one I got highlighted in here that I want to go to. So let me uh find out about oh yeah, right here. This is the one. This right here was a good one. Let's highlight that. All right, so let's blow this up. All right. Where's my thingy? I think it's up here. Where did this go to? I don't know where it went. Just that quick. That's that one. Hold on. Credit concerns or cold feet. Well, that's fine. We could talk about this one. Let's highlight that. And let me blow it up a little bit. Blow up a little bit more. I always lose it when I hit that last blow it up a little bit. I always lose it. Always. All right, here we go. A couple of years ago, my fiance lost two investment properties due to the housing bust. One house was lost to foreclosure, the other one was sold in a short sale. He has delayed our wedding because of the fear of tax ramifications that would, in his mind, affect my clean record and good credit. Is he right, or is he just delaying our wedding for a bogus reason? So the answer goes, let's be generous and just assume that your beloved is a bit misinformed. Foreclosures and short sales of an investment properties can indeed result in tax bills if the proceeds of the sale aren't enough to cover the mortgage and the resultant deficiency is reported to the IRS. This forgiven debt is typically treated as taxable income to the debtor unless he or she was insolvent. We learned about solvent last week, and this week is insolvent. All right. We learned about that last week. But debts incurred before the marriage, including tax debts, are the sole responsibility of the person who incurred them, except for those that are dealing with child support. They can come after you. If a man has child support and he has not paid, they can come after you, ladies, if you get married to a guy who is in the rears, right? And since there's no such thing as joint credit report, each person has his or her own pers- pre- preferably his or her own credit report. These debts won't appear on your credit records or affect your credit scores. That's not to say pre-marriage debts won't affect you as a couple, since the money spent on repaying these bills won't be available for your other joint goals. It's not clear from your question, however, whether he is indeed facing a tax bill as a result. And I think this is where you all have to start doing more question and asking this, right? A result affects the tax bill as a result of losing these properties, or whether he simply fears he might. Another possibility is that he may be sued over any debt that he owes his mortgage lenders. And if y'all are married, yes, that could affect you, right? So you need to find out what kind of debt he has and what kind of debt is he in. After that, you jointly can get started on building a plan to deal like this. And they said, find out, go to an attorney and find out. Of course, he delays making those appointments. You'll get pretty a clear answer to your question. All right. This one here I thought was kind of funny. Fiance's reluctance may be just prudence, right? I filed for bankruptcy in 2005, just before the laws changed. My husband to be is hesitant about marriage since he believes my bankruptcy would affect his business and his shining credit score. I've been telling him that my past financial tribulations do not reflect on his credit score. Where can I find this in writing to prove what I say is true? How many people think that this is true? That her bankruptcy could affect his business um and his shining credit score if 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 they get married. I read it again. I filed for bankruptcy in 2005, just before the law. My husband B is hesitant about marriage since he believes my bankruptcy will affect his business and his shining credit score. I have been telling him that my past financial tribulations do not reflect on his credit score. Where can I find where can I find this in writing to prove what I say is true? Her bankruptcy has nothing to do with his business. Okay, we see that. Business credit should be separate. Okay. Got got to feed up that money, free up them and get it back in the labor pool. Oh yeah. Oh, you talking about for DeSantis, yeah. Okay, let's see what they say. There's no such thing as a joint credit report or a joint credit score. Each individual has his or own, and they aren't combined when you marry. Your troubled history could affect him going forward. However, if you two decide to get a loan together, such as your mortgage, your lower credit scores could make it more difficult to get approved and probably would trigger a higher interest rate than he had otherwise pay. His reluctance to marry you may have deeper roots, of course. Since your finances have foundered before, he may worry that they could again, and he would be on the hook for bailing you out. You may need to reassure him that you have mended your ways. That means living within your means with no credit card debt, a substantial pad of savings, and adequate life insurance. If you're not there yet, you may at least need to prove to him that you're well on your way. But her money don't matter. But a debt does. But that debt do. Otherwise, he is reluctant and wouldn't be cold feet. It's just it would just be prudent caution. All right, let me see. I got another one here that I highlighted. Let me back out a little bit so I can see. Was that one? No. Oh yeah, that was one. Oh yeah, this is one. You ladies, y'all kill me. Oh, y'all kill me on this one. Let's go. Where'd you go? As always happens to me. All right, here we go. Right here. I'm going to say it go. I have to scroll down. It always disappears on me. Right here. My fiance and I are trying to secure financing for our first home, but his credit score is just below the mark. I was thinking of adding his name to my credit card account so that my available credit shows up on his report. Would this boost his scores at all? Is there any danger of it lowering his scores? Ladies, would you do this? Would you add your man to your authorized as an authorized user on your credit card to help boost his credit score? He's a fiance, he is not a husband. Where my feminine fit and submissive women at? Add your man to the authorized user. Mm. All right. If you have a good history with this account, you always pay on time and you're not carrying a large balance. Adding him as an authorized user may help his scores. The key is whether the credit card issuer will export this data from your credit file to his. Some issuers automatically do this export for authorized users. Others do it only for their spouses. The only way to know for sure is to ask your credit card company. If the data is exported to his file, it will be used to calculate his FICO scores, which are the scores most lenders use. The company that creates the FICO briefly toyed with the idea of excluding authorized user data in its latest formula, FICO 8, but ultimately decided to continue to use it. If you added him as an authorized user, you don't need to give him a card or access to your account. However, take some time to go over his credit report and discuss what steps he's taken on his own to clean up his financial act. A temporary boost in his scores might land you a mortgage, but you could wind up much worse off financially if he continues to mishandle his credit. Yeah, they're going to do it. Here we go. New wife could help his credit, but she's not obligated. Now, this was a doozy right here. I enjoyed this one. I'm divorced. I am a divorced 49-year-old man who has a lot of debt. I recently and shamefully turned in my keys on my ridiculously upside down home in Arizona. My credit scores plummeted and all my credit cards raised their rates to 28% and above. I remarried to a wonderful woman who is more fiscally responsible and wants to buy a new home. I like a quick fix, but that seems unlikely. I've avoided commingling our assets and credit so far, but recently I asked my wife to co sign a personal loan to consolidate my debt. I've also requested to be an authorized user on some of her high limit, low balance credit cards. D, give us a little music on that. D, give us a little music. I'm just gonna read this last one. I remarried a wonderful woman who is more physically responsible and wants to buy a home. I like a quick fix, but that seems unlikely. I've avoided commingling our assets and credit so far. But recently, I asked my wife to co sign a personal loan to consolidate my debt. I've also requested to be an authorized user on some of her high limit and low balance credit cards. Are y'all gonna do it? You married now. You want him to look good on your arm, right? With a good credit score. Triple L, filthy Freight say, why is no clown music in here? While she has to build him up, what is he doing for her? Personal loan, debt consolidation. Let's see. Y'all want to see what the answer is? Let's go. This is what he says. I fear this may be a breaking point for our relationship. She has worked hard to be responsible, and well, I have not. My strategy seems sound. What do you think? All right. Your plan could dramatically lower your interest costs, allowing you to repay your debt more quickly. It could also rehabilitate your battered credit scores. But the cosign loan will put your new wife's credit in your hands. If you missed a single payment, her hard won credit scores could plunge overnight. If you failed to pay back the debt, she would be responsible for it. She would be responsible for it. That's a huge risk for her to take. She listen, Linda, Linda, Linda. It says that's a huge risk for her to take, so you shouldn't hold it against her if she declines. Adding you as an authorized user of her credit cards involves much less risk since she wouldn't have to actually give you access to those cards, but she's not under no obligation to do either. If she turns you down, you might want to consider a visit to a legitimate credit counselor. And they give the website, the National Foundation of Credit Counseling, as well as a session with a bankruptcy attorney so you can be appraised or apprised of all your options regarding your debt. All right, I got some other ones in here. This lady was saying that her son had an 800 credit score, FICO score, and then he got married and it became 600. It said marriage cost my son's credit score. It's like, no, it didn't. No, it didn't. Lady, stop. All right. This one right here. Spouse's debt may be yours or it may not be. I told you I got some good ones today. My spouse has extremely high credit card debt. All cars are in her name only. Where do I stand legally if she dies or we divorce? What can a person do about such uncontrollable abuse of credit cards? The interest alone is horrific, but she pays it. If you live in a community property state and don't have a prenuptial agreement, debts incurred during the marriage are typically considered owed by both parties. Let me highlight that for you. Let me go on and highlight that for you. If you live in a community property state, this is why y'all got to figure this out. What states y'all living in and what the laws are, and don't have a prenuptial agreement. Debts incurred during the marriage are typically considered owed by both parties, even if there's only one name on the credit card. So if she don't add you on there, you gotta pay. They gotta pay. Hey, they gotta pay. Hey, gonna pay, bae. Gonna pay, bae. That's just saying. All right, community property states include California, Arizona, Idaho, Louisiana, Nevada, New Mexico, Texas, Washington, and Wisconsin. Right? In other states, debts that one spouse incurred are usually that spouse's responsibility alone unless the money was used to buy family necessities such as food or shelter. If you divorce, she probably would be responsible for these separate debts. If she dies, creditors could go after her separate property and may be able to go after her half of any jointly held property. So if y'all got a house together and that's your primary residence, then yes, they could come after that. They could seek something from you. The rules may vary enough by state that you be smart to consult an attorney about your potential liability. Whatever you live, or I guess wherever you live, not whatever, wherever you live, though this debt is affecting your union and your future together. The money she's paying in interest isn't available for other purposes such as saving for retirement or children's education. Plus, it's clearly causing tension between you. If you want your marriage to succeed, you should invest in sessions with a marriage counselor and a fee only financial planner. Whew, these some doozies today, D. These some doozies. All right. Separate your finances before divorce is final. My wife and I had excellent credit when we married 10 years ago. We're now divorcing amicably. I always want to say that friendly. I would put it like that. Since we married, we have put everything in her name. foolish, foolish. We're gonna call this foolish finesse Friday. She got finessed. Since we married, we put everything in her name. The two houses in successions, the three cars, all the insurance, and all the utilities. We put everything in her name. And they're getting ready to get a divorce. Mm. We refinanced our house in February with her name first. I recently opened up a checking account and savings account in my name only and had my paycheck deposited there instead of our joint account. She don't need that money in that account. She no, She don't own everything. She owns all the debt. That's what you missing, Evelyn. She owns all the debt. So that way, when it's time for divorce, his name ain't on nothing. Basically, he's a ghost. He don't have no credit background at this point. So it's like he's starting with a clean slate. She owns all the debt, right? It says, what steps should I take before the divorce decree to be sure I retain a good credit score? Mama, I made it. Yep. Yep. And if they're in the community property state, they will need to liquidate. Yep. So really, she didn't gain anything. She got all it in her name, but she got all the debt. She's assuming all the debt. His name is not on anything. So if she miss a bill, they're not looking at him and her. They just looking at her. Depending, really depends on the state, but we're in her name. They're gonna come after her first. All right. To protect their credit, divorcing couples should make sure to close all joint credit accounts and transfer any balances to the partner who will be responsible for paying the obligation. Ideally, mortgages and other loans will be refinanced to remove one of the partner's names, but in this case, she's in all of it. She gonna be on the new season of Snapped. All this should be done before the divorce is final. Otherwise, your ex can trash your credit deliberately or not. If your name is still on the mortgage, car loans, or credit cards, your scores could plummet if she misses a payment. You will have little recourse because your creditors aren't bound by your divorce agreement, even if it plainly requires her to pay even if it requires her to stay up to date on those obligations. Furthermore, your lenders don't have to notify you if your ex is on a late payment. By the time you find out, the damage to your credit will likely have been done. Right? Closing accounts and opening new ones can inflict temporary dings on your credit, but these pale in comparisons to the damage done by single skip payment. If you want to keep the amicable vibe and your excellent scores, separate your credit accounts now. You may not be able to refinance your loans, of course. Many people discover they can't get a new loan because they don't have enough equity in their home or enough income on their own to qualify. And that's the thing. If everything was in her name and he was giving her money to make the payments and she can't get out of those loans or whatnot to get a lower interest rate or whatever the case may be, could be sad news. Right? It says in that case, you'll probably have to work out an agreement about how long the responsible party has to sell the property and consider some kind of safety mechanism, such as online access to accounts to make sure payments are being made on time. Now y'all get to, this a whole book. It's a whole book about foolish decisions and so forth. I'm reading. All right, so here it goes. My husband recently inherited a substantial sum of money after his mother's death. I assumed we used the money for some home improvements to boost our retirement savings, but he put the cash into a separate account and refuses to discuss sharing it. This is his second marriage. He was divorced and my first. Although I'm worried now that it won't be my last. He done got to share nothing with her. You hope, but she ain't got to. Inheritance gets special treatment even in community property states, whereas assets acquired during marriage are considered joint property. People who receive bequests are allowed to keep them as separate property and typically do not have to share the windfalls with their spouses. Keeping inheritance separate might be smart for estate planning reasons. It would be easier for him to pass this money directly to his children. For example, whereas commingling it might result in a part of in part or all of the largest, or I guess largesse, I guess supposed to be largest, going to your kids. I think that might have been an error. I'm not sure, or your next spouse. Then again, he may simply be wary of his inheritance slipping away. His experience with divorce probably has made him leery of sharing assets since he could lose a big share of them if you break up. Still, it would be nice if he shared his reasoning with you, and even nicer if he would use some portion of the inheritance to benefit you both as a couple. But he don't have to, right? He don't have to. He don't have to. Let me go on. All right, here we go. How marriage, divorce, and death affect your social security check. And this is the last one I'm gonna read from this book because there's a ton of them in here. All right. The following Q&As focusing on security, social security, and how being married affects your benefits. Let's get into it. I'm I'm now a housewife. So she's a housewife. And depending on if she's not working at home, and she doesn't put into Social Security. Oh, I see it now, Dunn. You was like, that's a new word for you? That's a new word for me too. All right, so I'm now 64 and a housewife. I haven't earned enough to qualify for Social Security on my own. But I understand that I can qualify for up to half of my husband's Social Security benefit if I waited until full retirement age to apply. Would it change to his full benefit if he dies before I do? Or will I be stuck with just half of his benefit forever? The ins and outs of Social Security benefits can be confusing. In a recent poll from AARP, fewer than half of those questioned who have ever been married even knew that spousal benefits were available. Survivors' benefits are even more of a mystery to many. Here's how it works. If you wait until full retirement age, which ranges from 66 to 67, you could qualify for half of your husband's Social Security benefit. Many low earners, usually women, found that half of their spouse's benefit is more than the check would qualify for on their own. Accepting spousal benefits doesn't affect the amount your husband can receive. If he gets $1,000 a check, and you can get half of his benefit, $500, the household receives $1,500. It doesn't take away from him, right? It doesn't take away from him. Your husband needs to be old enough to qualify for Social Security, and your benefits will be reduced significantly if you apply before your full retirement age. It's usually worth waiting to apply since those reductions are permanent and could leave you with substantially less money overall, but especially if you're living to beyond your 70s. Right? If your husband dies after you reach full retirement, you should be able to step up to 100% of his benefit, but you'll have to give your spouse your benefit. You'll have to give up your spousal benefit, so your household income in that scenario would be $1,000 a month. You'll get a smaller but still substantial portion of his benefit, typically 71.5% if he dies earlier. You can all go look at the survivor plan on SSA.gov survivor plan, if you want to check that out. All right. There's another one in here. I think I highlighted it. Let me look about Social Security. It was saying right here, yeah, right here. I understand that you don't have to still be married to get spousal benefits as long as the marriage lasted at least 10 years. If a person draws benefit based on a divorced spouse's earnings record, does the spouse have to be 62 years of age, or does just the mom have to be 62? All right. Both parties have to be old enough to qualify for at least early retirement benefits, meaning age 62. And the person who applies for spousal benefit must be unmarried. The person who applies has to be unmarried. As with regular spousal benefits, divorce spousal benefits don't affect the breadwinner's benefits. Right? Don't expect the breadwinner's check. If dad had 3 marriages lasting 10 years each one of his exes could claim benefits based on his records without affecting his check or each other's. Everybody want to know what's the key to being married? 10 years. 10 years. Right? 10 years. Right? But unlike spousal benefits for people who are still married, the breadwinner need not have applied for benefits to allow the ex-spouse to start collecting. I'll read it again. But unlike spousal benefits for people who are still married, the breadwinner need not have applied for benefits to allow the ex to start collecting. If the dad in this scenario is old enough to apply for benefits but hasn't done so yet, the mom can still do so as long as they have been divorced for at least 2 years. Furthermore, divorced people who were married at least 10 years are also eligible for survivor benefits if their ex dies. Check out ssa.gov, your div spouse, right? For the rules. Remember, applying early permanently reduces your benefit. So it often better to wait until full retirement age if you can. Did y'all like that today? Did y'all like that? Did y'all like that info? Military may be a little different. Military may be a little different. All right. And I wanted to do this one. I like these titles. I like these titles. Mm-hmm. I like these titles. All right. I'm reading it. Read the comments here. Make sure I ain't missing none. I learned a word. I gotta let. Yeah, I don't know. It's like I'm like largesse. Never heard of it. That's new. Never heard of it. Generosity is now bestowing money on gifts upon others, dispensing his money with such largesse. He was he was solvent. He was solvent. All right. What do I do? My husband says his money is his. His money is his. Let me blow this up. What do I do? My husband says his money is his. Let me blow it up some more here. All right. It looks a little small. There we go. All right. Marriage is a beautiful event. Oh, we should get some music on this one, Dean. We get a little, a little lead in music. Something. I guess that's okay. Marriage is a beautiful event. There you go with that song. I know this one. I feel like it's about to be a strip song. I'm doing it. I'm doing the Jay-Z move when he in the video with it. All right, marriage is beautiful. It's a beautiful event where two people combine their lives, beginning with vows to love each other forever. However, financial circumstances can cause even the strongest marriages to hit an occasional road bump. But it's okay because you love each other and you're gonna get through it. Sure, in the beginning, you may have been on the same page, but then kids, life experiences, a new job, and different views on spending money and saving money can develop. Triple F. All right, somewhere between the honeymoon stage and now, you and your husband stop being on the same page, especially regarding finances. Now you may be experiencing that my husband says his money is his. Is there anything you can do about the conflict so that it becomes a his and her money solution? How the song go? My man is your man is my man for the weekend. Insert wherever gender identities are appropriate for your relationship. What's yours is mine. All couples split their finances. All right. At the beginning of every marriage and even before, money should be one of the first things you discuss to ensure you reach your financial success. Find out your and your partner's, I guess should be you and your partner's money personality, and work out a balanced way to ensure you both are financially fulfilled. There's no right way. There's no right or wrong way to spend, save, share, or separate finances between you and your significant other. However, every couple should feel comfortable expressing their needs regarding finances and money issues. Not being on the same page as your spouse can cause significant money issues. And this is where I go back into, and this is the one right here. This one right here reminds me of this. Um, this one right here. This right here is a doozy to me. This one right here. We rushed to buy a 730,000 home, and now I can't sleep at night. Couple, young couple out of Seattle. Let me get him on the screen here. Young couple out of Seattle. I think he's a project manager, and she's a nurse. She went to school. I think she is Ethiopian. Um, they were living in an apartment paying 1,800, and now they're living in a house and they're paying 5,000 a month in this house. And they live in Seattle. And why I brought this first article up here is leads into this. He pays all the bills. She knows nothing about what goes on in terms of finances. He is having basically heart palpitations, nightmares at night, and waking up in sweats and having nightmares about the house being swept away by a tornado or a hurricane or what have you, because he has gone from paying 1,800 a month to paying 5,000 a month. And in the video, they ask her how does she feel when she go to bed at night. She's like, I just go to sleep. I just go to sleep. Right? And yep, she cares about the floors. But here's the issue that I have with this couple. I did not finish the end of it just yet. I'm probably like 3/4 done with it. However, the issue I have with this couple is her. Not, and I got an issue with him. She wants to know, but she don't really want to know. Now, she comes from a background where her mother is take care of all the finances in the home and her father doesn't. Her father, I guess, probably gets an allowance and goes on about his business. The issue I have with this is it takes the responsibility off of her, and she is just going along with whatever he says. Not the fact that it's a bad thing, but it's the fact there's not a sense of reality of what's really going on with the finances in the home and what the situation is, right? So I think she needs to be aware of that. I also think it is actually on the husband to make her aware of that. Like, babe, we got to have a monthly meeting on the finances. I want to show you what's going on, because and here's where it goes into. This has nothing to do with patriarchy. This has nothing to do with I'm the man and she the woman and she should be feminine fit. This ain't got nothing to do with that. This has to do with, if something happens to him, she needs to understand how to pay the bills, what happens, what goes on. She needs to understand where things are at. It's on him and her, but it's really on him in order to set those things up and show her what goes on. And if he starts training her now, and she starts training how to look at the budget and understand the money, because that's not something she's into, it'll help out in the long run. When he comes around and he says no, it's not that he's being mean when he says no. It's just you really couldn't afford it. But you know we couldn't afford it because you've seen the financial plan. You've seen X, Y, and Z. He comes from a background where his dad actually went through and has a spreadsheet and knows all the money going in and out, down to the last nickel and the last dime. And his mother trusts him, where she comes from a background where the mother does everything and the dad trusts her. So it's kind of funny the roles are reversed for her. However, I do think in this case, she needs to take some accountability and he needs to own up to some, I guess, some, I don't want to say cruel, harsh punishment, to sit her down and talk about what's going on so she can have an idea of the finances and so forth, right? Babe, we can't take this trip to whatever location we want to go to because we got this $5,000 mortgage that we got to handle, and then some. And they want to add babies. And in this video, she said, well, this is just our first home. This ain't going to be our only home. This is just our first home. And I know he like, no, this it. This it. This is our forever home. Yeah. Yeah. And she does. She wants some new furniture. She wants the things and so forth and so on. And he's just like, I'm used to living in a box. I'm used to living in a square. So, yeah, it could be looked at as a sense of financial abuse on both parts. It's financial abuse because she doesn't know, and it's financial abuse because she doesn't want to know. She, again, going back to scamming yourself. So I implore you, for those that are trying to get married or those that are married, sit down and have weekly, not weekly, but at least monthly financial nights where you talk about what's going on for the month and so forth. And so, yeah, she chooses to be ignorant, and that's where I have the problem at. She chooses to have an idea of what it is, and in the long run, when you live like that, it could hurt you, right? It could hurt you. And I'll only say that from listening to a lot of my guy friends who have mothers who fathers have passed away, and the mothers are left with $17 and don't know where none of the account information is at, don't know how to get any money out, don't have any food, don't know what to do, don't know where to look for nothing, don't know anything, right? And the question always come back, they've always asked me, why would someone do someone like that? And the question is, why would someone let them do them that way as well too? So it's an ownership on both parts, that both parties should want to know and should want to help each other. It's not about um, leaving your loved ones in the dust. That's not what we want to do. You don't want to leave your loved ones sitting, in a box or in a chair in the cemetery at your grave site talking about, I don't know what I should do. Can you just give me a sign? And the sign is your house is foreclosed on. That's the sign that you need to get out, right? All right. So again, I wanted to give that to y'all today. Uh I know D may be getting tired and we got a show in the morning. Um, I'm trying to make sure I covered everything. Um, I make sure I cover all the stuff. Mm-hmm. I'll say that one for tomorrow. That's gonna be a good one. All right, let me read the comments and then we'll get out of here. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Don't forget to hit the notification bell if you want to hear more of our foolish finance talks. I did not pull from Market Watch today. There was some stuff over in Market Watch, but it wasn't messy enough for me. And then I found this, and so then here we are. And Evelyn, what are you saying? And the side chick can get a lot more while the wife remain angry. Yeah, on a crate trying to start a car. Yep. Yeah. But I do want to say we appreciate you all for coming out. We also appreciate y'all for rocking with us. Thank you for those that has paid their tech ties today. We appreciate you as well too. Again, don't be ignorant to finances. This is why we have Foolish Finance Fridays, to show an array of how couples interact with each other, how things can go awry, uh, putting authorized users co-signing and on debt, in either one-on-ones. It says, how do I get a one-on-one? You get a one-on-one. I think D put it out last week, the one-on-one link, but D could drop the link again. If I don't know if you're a part of the Slack as well too. But again, triple F, double F black, Frank, whatever you want to call yourself today. Where's my where's D, where we ain't seen what's his name, Sir, was it Sir Octavius of Williamsburg? Where's Sir Octavius of Williamsburg? Right. Again, hit the like and subscribe. Don't forget the shop button as well too. We're gonna be up out of here. We'll see y'all in the morning. And in the morning, I got some stuff that we're going over. We'll be going over some stocks, some REITs. I got a nice little lineup for in the morning for everybody. It's gonna be fun. You're gonna like it. All right, I'll catch y'all in the morning.